Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a little video. What I have is, we're working on the Bugatti. We've got the doors hinged. We made all the gaps with the 3/16 plate. Some places a little bigger, some places are not. That's okay. We don't mind that because we can fill it. We got it hinged and we got it going back and forth. Now we need a lock mechanism put in the door. On this car, the door is very narrow compared to any door, compared to the door on the 40 Plymouth, compared to the door on a 56 Ford. Straight up, the doors are generally a little bit thicker, and I never, I'm building it my way for Jolene, and this is how thick the door is. These are the latches that I'm using. They're called bear claw latches, and they're a very nice latch, very nice. There's only one way for them to go together. And I just want you to show you how I'm doing it. What I've got is this is the lock mechanism. This is the piece that they give us to put on the door. What I have done is I just took a grinder. What you see for tools on the ground are the tools that I've used to put this bear claw latch system together. Generally, on this black primer, you usually take it all off. Just take it all off, because when you try to grind it up and put body fill on it or put anything on it, it does not stick. So I generally just grind it off. You can't weld over top of that grate, so just grind it off. I did that before we started. Another thing I did, the bear claw latches had a hole back here. I wanted the lock to go in further. See, it was out here, and I've die grinded them out. I use this tool. I've die grinded the holes out so I can shove my lock in further because my door is only so wide. That's what I had to do, and that's what I'm doing. Right at this video that I'm showing you, I'm doing what I have to do to make it work, if you know what I'm saying. As I open the door up here, I did not want to, first thing I'm going to do is get something to hold that door shut or hold it open. I'll be right back. There's one thing I didn't do, is get ready for that. This is my piece of wood, I guess. I put my wood in my day, I can guarantee you that. I've done my wood in my day. As I do this, I just want this to hold the door open, so it does not move. And as I was putting the bear claw latches on, see, this latch is only as big as the door. It's bigger than the door. Also, these latches, so you got this big piece, you have a great big piece. When you set this bear claw latch inside, then you set a little solenoid up to pull your switch. That clamps together like that. You pull down on that, and it opens up. Pull down on that, and it opens up. So you're closing the door, opening the door. So what's happening is, when you put these in, you would have like I say, a solenoid with a little tiny cable going there. You press the button, sends the power to the solenoid. It would release that, and that's where you get your bear claw latches. Automatic doors, no door handles. Right now, I just want to have latches so we can open and shut the door. As I put them up there, there's only one way I can put them. I can't put the latch up inside the window. You never get at it, it just does not work. You can you try it both ways, that's what I'm doing. But as I get going, I figured my best spot is right here. And that's what I've figured out. That's my best spot, and that's what I'm going to go with. Now, I've got this lock is only so big, and that's why I shoved it ahead, and this piece gets cut back, and I'm going to cut this piece out of this piece. So what I'm going to do is, right now, put that on there like that. I'm going to make this piece smaller to fit this. That's going in there like that. I know for sure that much is getting cut off because it's past the door. I know that much is getting cut off. On the back side of the door, I can take it in as far as possible. We'll go here to there. So we know for sure that that's the biggest the piece that I have here can be to hold that lock. It's the biggest it can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece down, fit the hole. Close is only in hand grenades and horseshoes, if you know what I'm trying to say. Hand grenade and horseshoes. In it, baby. That's what closest is, in hand grenades and horseshoes. As I took them that much off, see how it covers the lock still? Still got the lock covered. Didn't get much of it back there. I should have left maybe a little bit more on it, maybe. We'll get it welded. As I do that, I also want to shorten it. I want to shorten it. Do that. Do that there. As I have made this smaller, have nibbled up. Now, I'm going to weld that in there. Now this is going to fit for me. Now, as we go like this, there's a little piece sticking out here. That's the piece that you would hook to on the inside of your car. That's why it's pulled out a little bit, because you mount that to the inside of your car, and you got a little bit of room there. And you get to mount that on the inside of your car, because you can get inside the door. You take the door panel off. We haven't got that here yet. I do not want to do that. We're going to make sliding windows like an airplane in this thing, and I want to put locks in it so that we can do it. So anyways, as I got it on here, and I'm putting it on like this, I've got it on the other side, pretty darn close what I have done, and I want to do the same to this side. You know what I'm saying? Right there's the... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. Now that I've got this cut down to fit the lock, so I've got this cut down to fit the lock. Jesus. Now I've got it cut down to fit the lock to make this panel as small as possible. The lock still fits it. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to use this for my pattern. I'm going to use this for my pattern. I put it up there. This is my pattern. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like that. So I know where I want this cut out. I'm going to keep it on that line back there, though. And leave a little bit down there. So this is my pattern cut out. I'm going to take this. knock that out. Try not to, you know, I'm going to try to make it fit the best I can. But what I'm trying to, you know, cut on the line or try to cut. Say if I draw the line on this side, I would cut on the pat side on the line the very first time. So if I put that in there the very first time, I've got it fitting pretty good there because I've done it a few times. But generally, you cut inside a little bit, give yourself a little bit of room so you get a little playing room for, you know, if you've, yeah, just leave a little playing room. I've got it cut pretty good there, though. Like I said, you always need to clean them off. Always need to clean them off. All the black off it. Yeah. That's why you don't do that. I'm going fast as possible. Yeah, I'm going fast as possible. These are in here like that. That's in here like that. The lock makes it stick out a little ways. I'm going to have to cap this end, but I'm hoping it's out just far enough when I put the interior on, you're still going to see the lock. I'll get it stuck in here now. What I have done, I'm going to see this here now. Put this back on. This here is hanging out on me. This little piece right here is hanging out on me. So what I've had to do, maybe I should just put the nuts in this. I'm going to put the nuts in this, or the bolts and nuts in this. Just went down to the hardware store, grabbed those quickly. I did. That's what slows you up sometimes when you have to go somewhere. As I was working on this one, I put the other door latch in earlier. Now I'm trying to do the second one now just to make a video to show you how I've done it. But as I'm doing this, Jolene has welded up the front end of the 40, and now she's on the part where she's starting to clean it up and grind it down and try to see what pinholes in it and what pinholes she doesn't have in it. And fantastic, you know. She's welding the 40 up as I'm doing this. So as I stop, we're making a little video. It's good to make the videos too because we actually feel like we gotta do something, you know. It's kind of, can I say, it makes you work, you know. You want to get a video done, you want to get the car done. It's just pressure you put on yourself. It's like having a goal, eh? If you have no goal, you're on a road to nowheres, are you not? If you have no goals, you're on a road to nowheres. So we usually try to have goals during the day or during the night. We'll make up something that we should be doing or we should not be doing. Whatever. So I'm just going to tighten these up a little bit here. Tighten these up a little bit. Oh. Generally, it's not a pair of vice grips, but you know, doesn't really much matter. On this one here, I cannot get in inside the door and take the lock off. I cannot put nuts and bolts in it and hold it in, or I have to tack my nuts on the back side of the lock and then pull my screws out. It does not. What's going on here right now, I'm just using the lock mechanism, and I'm not even going to be able to take this back out because this is welded in here. Why would I want to take it out? It's not going to come out. It's just barely fitting in there now. So as I do that, and I'm seeing what's going on here, this piece here sticks out. And that's my handle. That's what opens it. Click, that's what opens it. So what I've come up with is I have to open that up a little bit and French a piece in there to allow that there to move back and forth, because that's going to be on the outside. So what I have done, or so what I'm going to do, so this is all by the fly, eh? You have to, what I'm going to say, you have to be able to compromise, or you know, go with the flow. I have to do something there to make that work. That's not going to work. What I've decided is to French this metal in so this handle can move back and forth. When the door panel goes on, the door panel will come up to the lock, go around the lock. That'll be Frenched in. The door panel will have to go around that, and so on and so forth. And that's just the way it has to be for this application. And that's basically it. It just has to be that way for this application. What I have done is I've made a piece for the other side. And I left this because I thought it would be a pretty good video. This piece here, yeah, can be welded on here. You want to come a little ways away from there like we did that one. I'm going to make that. This piece here is what we want Frenched in, so this handle fits in. I've got it like this. I've got that like that. Oh, sorry, that's not the way it goes. This goes, yes, that's the way it goes. It goes on the outside like that, and this is my handle to open it. I can't get inside the door, remember? So this is a piece I've made, and that's the piece that's going underneath that to French that. So I'm going to put that underneath there, and that'll French that. Now, how far do I want to go? How far do I want to go? I think I'm going to go like that. Close to that. Close to that. I don't want that down there. And I want it this way because I want it sort of the same on the other side. I've got a little bit of distance going on that window there, and I want to do the exact same thing on this one. And that's exactly what I want to do. So I cut that out. Take this out of the door instead of inside the door. That's why I stopped. I want the stuff out of the door, not in the door. This is where the air comes in, die grinder. Come on, just a little bit further. See, just a little bit more maybe. This little piece right here. Now, once I have this, I haven't done anything to that yet, this piece here yet, but cut material away, place the lock in further because I didn't have enough room, and I cleaned it up, and I used it as a pattern. That's the only thing that I've done with this piece so far, is cut something away, moved it over a little bit, cleaned it up so I could weld it in. And that's it. That's the only thing I've done to it. As I put it in there, it's not sitting down because of my bolts right now. But that's okay. I can cut them off. But as I see that, I'm trying to put that in there. This piece here we know is going to stick on the outside. So this is the piece that I made for that hole. As I, have a hole there, this piece is going to be Frenched, and when that gets down in there, It's going to be French so I can get a bolt in behind it. What I've done, I'll show you after a second. I'll do a little more here for a minute, and then I'll show you. Do you remember what I said about the little station that bends metal? Your job, where does that piece of metal at? I put that. No, I guess my job is when I'm building this car, if I need something, like I want to French this. So as I want to French this, I want a piece of metal to go around that, so I can set that in and then mark it off. So what I went over to the shear and I found a piece of metal like this. So I'm going to put that on there and weld that on there, set that in that hole, and then it'll be Frenched in, if you know what I'm trying to say. As I do that, we're sitting here today, and Jack says, why not a socket? So that's what I'm going to use, is a socket. Now you watch this now. I'm just going to bend this over that socket. Keep it pliable, it'll bend. Let's face it, you got to use some of your muscles some of the time, right? So what I've got here now is I've got a nice bend that I can put on that and weld that on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that on real quick, and then I'm going to shove it in that hole, tack it in there. I'm going to cut them bolts off, then I'm going to set that in there, and that's where it is. It'll be Frenched in there. So I'm going to turn this on. These are bear claw latches, and if anybody wants a latch to put in their door, I've taken them out of other cars before and so on and so forth, cut them out of the door, then bolt them in another car. I've done that before, yes. But these right here, we had these on a build. We did not use it. There's a couple cars that we did not put doors on. These door latches fell to a side, and this is the time to use them. As I do that, I'm just going to tap it on there. Fits pretty good over here. If it doesn't fit good, just move it. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. If it doesn't fit good, you just have to move it. Youch, that's hot. We'll let that cool down for a second. I want to tack all these nuts on the back side of this, so this is the time to do it right now. And what I'll do is I'm going to put this on here. And the reason I'm tacking the nuts on the back side of this is because I can't take the lock out. There's no adjustment in the lock. I'm going to use the adjustment on the pin, not the lock. So the lock's going to stay in one point. There's, it can only go on there at one point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the back side here, and I'm going to jam them nuts on with a little spot of weld. And that'll let me take the screws out, or the nut bolts out when I'm done, in case I want to do something with that lock. I have an idea to make this lock look nice. Yeah, I'll give her another shot for the... And if you want to know the best way to do that, put your wire exactly where you're going to weld, and then pull the trigger. Right? Ooh, she ground out. Anyways, there we go. So I got it tacked on the back side. So now I can cut them off, and I can take them screws out at any time to make the face of this look nice. Playing with hot tamale. Also, I've welded a nut on the back side of the trigger. That's hot. I welded a nut on the back side of the trigger because, see how it fits in there now? I weld that in there like that now. I got to weld my piece in here for my French. See how it's open like that? I want that French so that moves back and forth. That's where that goes like that. As I take this piece here, I'm going to grind this off right quick. Pair of vice grips. Yeah. Another grinder right here. Top part, that does not matter. That we'll leave the weld on that, make it nice and strong. It looks nice on the inside. What I'm going to do is here now, let's see if I got enough room going. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, not bad. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to French this piece in here. Remember, this is the place where the handle's going, right? Just got to get it placed right, that's all. Got to put a ground back on it too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place that on there. And then I can die grind back to it to make it so I can weld it in nice. I got that in there like that. Give her another little shot for the hay of it. What I do to make that look nice, I'll take the die grinder and die grind it out to the edge so I can get it right on the corner so I have good penetration on all the way around. It's a little bit high on, you know what I mean, it's a little bit higher on this piece of metal than it is that piece of metal, you know what I mean, a little bit more high. So what I'm going to do is grind it down a little bit so when I weld it, it's right on the corner. Now remember, everything you do, like when you sand it, weld it, whatever, it's all still going to have to be ground down, filled. You know, you want a little bit of room for, I should take a little more grind. You want a little bit of room for fill, primer, paint, and all that stuff. You know, everything doesn't work that great. Zip, you're onto your 10th car. Doing good, man. Yeah, that just felt. Want to get it right. So, as I do that, I got it fitting right. Also, I want to tack that in there like I always do. I don't want to cause a bunch of heat. Now it's in there. Now I have to see if this thing fits. There, I think I might have, that goes in there like that. So I'll grind that. There's a nut on the back side of that little handle. And what we have done for the other side, I'm going to come over here and show you. So now this just has to be welded in now. I will put that on there. I will butt weld that in and make it look the best I can. I'll butt weld that in just like that. I got it Frenched in there for the handle. If you want to come to the other side, then I'll show you exactly what's going on. I still have to put this piece in. That's like, I just have to cut a square. When I shut the door, I have to get inside the car. I have to cut a square out, and then I have to fit this piece in exactly with this piece. And I'll go over the other side and show you that, just because that's what I'm going to do. Come on over this side, baby. We've got this one on right now. This one's on. I did this one earlier while Jolene welded up the front. So, just by Jolene welding up the front of this 40, you know what it means? It means that women can do it if they want to. Jolene's over there doing it. If there's a woman out there that wants to build a car, hats off to you. Go for it. You can do it just as well as anybody else. Jolene's proven that to me. Jolene's very talented. Anyways, here's what we got. We've got it tacked in. I did the exact same thing I did over the other side. We got a little edge left over here, so we're going to have to cap that. Put a little piece in that, cap it, cap it. Hopefully the interior will come up to it, and then it won't be such stuck out so far. But that's as far as the lock. That's as big as the lock was. That's all I could do. I like how it's Frenched down here. I welded a nut on the back side, so now, right now, Jolene's door opener is off the Cadillac. That's what it is. That's one of the knobs that we did not use off the Cadillac. And there's how it opens the door. She just clicks like that and it opens the door. So what I have done after I've done that, if you want to come past me, baby, you want to come past me. What I've done is I've got on the inside, I've cut a square out and I've shoved that plate in there in order to match up with the door lock. And there you go. That's how it goes, just like that. Everything is not welded in completely yet, but that's how it works. Post is there, door lock is there. It did not work, but we're going to make it work. And then what I say by make it work, I think our interior is going to be that close anyways. Also, as I look at this hinge, I think about the hinges that are in the old cars, like we went to museums and all that stuff. And I can remember looking at the hinges and stuff like that, the amount of chrome and how big they were. They're stainless, but how big the hinges were and the locks and that sort of stuff. And as I think of that, the door will get painted on the outside. This lock, I'll probably take them screws out and I'll probably cover it with like a chrome cover and then cut that out and make that lock look like it's chrome against the painted paint and then the interior coming up next to it with a handle on it. I think that'll look awesome. And then I can pull the screws out, the lock doesn't go anywheres, then I can just wrap it and then put the screws back in and make it look like it's a great big fancy lock in a car. The post in here, there's where it is adjustable. Just cut it out, just like you can see on the other side, just cut that piece of metal out, shove that in there, and it adjusts and you can tack that in there. I don't think there's any need for me to get in there and cut that square to show you exactly. You see how nice that clicked? It's quite exciting. It's quite exciting to have something and have a couple doors put on and be put on that nice and that easy. Got a couple good things done today. Very happy. We're just cruising full steam ahead. And what I'll do is I'll tack this in place. Then I'll get in on the inside. I'll mark. I'll know exactly where it is because the claws will show me when I get in the inside. When I put the claws together, it'll show me right where actually the piece that I weld into the car has the exact opening that I need to cut. So when I weld this in here like this, when I weld that in there like that, I'll go in the car and I'll find this point and that point, and I will mark it on this post. Then I know exactly where that has to go because it has to fit around this and fit around this. So I cut that out and then I can slide that in. That's where it goes. So then I know where it goes. And it's just as like that. So I had to do a little bit of Frenching, I had to do a little bit of cutting, a little bit of figuring, and by the end of today, I will have that in and have it latching. Tomorrow I can come in and, you know, spot this here, and then every once in a while I'll go over and spot that side. I will put the heat ever so slightly to the car all over, and then all at once it'll be done. So if you know what I mean, I'll come in and put a few beads on, a few spots on this, and then I'll move over there and do that one. I'll do the hinge at the same time, spot that one. I will not continuously heat anything or distort anything doing the door. That's the door called latches, and I suggest anybody, if they want to use those, go for it. They're awesome. They got the pattern for you. They work nice. And that's the way it is. That's how you put door locks on a Bugatti. I did that fairly quick, and I hope that you understand as I did it. Jolene has been spotting the fenders up on the 40, making me very happy. She's taking the grinder and run it off right now, and then she can go back over it and check anything that she doesn't like or she does like. Thank you, baby. Going forward.